Joining us now, Sister Colleen Smith and Sister Mariette from the Apostles of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, which was, in fact, the Blessed Order. Sisters, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Bishop.
Good to be here.
Thank you. Sister Colleen, I just want to start with you for a moment. So from the trailer that we just saw, we kind of get a sense of the Blessed's life, but could you tell us about her in your own words? I think that would really be good for us.
Thank you. So Clelia was really an amazing woman, and she's really a woman for our time. I think the qualities I most admire about her first would be her faith and then her humility. And her faith was like so strong and steadfast. You know, she felt called to found this religious community dedicated to the Sacred Heart. She was in another community at the time, and she contracted tuberculosis and basically was dying. And she said, but the Sacred Heart is calling me. She had this experience of the crucified Christ calling her to found an order dedicated to his heart. And when she said this to her confessor, it's like, but you're dying, Clelia. But she was so convinced that no, God was asking her to found this community. And so they began a novena to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, and she was miraculously cured. And so I love that story because it's like hoping against hope. She trusted that God had inspired this in her, and she remained steadfast to that. And then secondly, her humility that really shines in her ability to forgive. She suffered greatly, and it was mostly at the hands of those she trusted most, her sisters, clergy, people that were very close to her who betrayed her, who slandered her, and yet she forgave them. And that was her means of reparation, of repairing that wounded body of Christ. And so I love Clelia so much because I think we can all relate to those qualities. We all want to have that strong faith and trust that that is really God inspiring us, and that ability to forgive, because who of us have not been hurt by those who love us most? Or those, you know, we've all known betrayal in some form. And so her example, I think, is really incredible.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, we all have to forgive in our lifetime. And I know her level of forgiveness was great. So Sister Mariette, the film shows us basically two women's stories, Blessed Clelia and then another woman from modern times. So it's a split timeline. Why did the film creators choose to do it that way?
That's an excellent question, and I'm happy to give you some insight into that. So the concept of the film toggling, if you will, between the past and the present was done obviously on purpose by the film's director and producer, Paolo Damoso from Italy. And what he was seeking to underscore is the conviction that Mother Clelia is absolutely present. She is absolutely relevant to the world of today, that she speaks to us, she understands the problems that we face, and she knows how to point us in the direction of where to go to find the answers. So in Paolo's own words, when he was with us to premiere the film last year, she lived her life, all of it, in the light of the gospel. And so in turn, she encourages each of us to come and welcome the good news that comes to us every single day. So to underscore the living presence of Clelia among us, one of the ways he chose to get that message across was in devising that storyline that paralleled that of Clelia. And interestingly enough, all of the actors and actresses who were cast in roles during the time period portraying when Clelia was alive are the same actors and actresses who take on roles in that modern day vignette, if you will, that takes place at our actual school in Rome. And it revolves around the central character of a woman, Professor De Magistris, who is played by the Italian actress Silvia Budri, who is the actress who took on the part of Clelia. So there are parallels in those two stories that he wanted to bring out: jealousy, humiliation, betrayal, forgiveness, and the glory, if you will, when the light of God's truth shines. So this is an important angle that Paolo chose in order to bring to light not only how the mystery of Clelia's life continues to be present in the world today, but it invites each of us to seriously consider that there are times in each of our lives when we are drawn into that same mystery and to find the answers as she did of humility, forgiveness, and truth in the heart of Jesus.
Now, in order to be declared a blessed, there had to have been a miracle. Can you tell us briefly about that?
Sure. The miracle is attributed actually to a medical doctor who lived in the state of Sao Paulo in Brazil back in the early part of the 1950s. And it was a case of this gentleman who had a progressive paralysis that affected all four limbs. It was diagnosed to be the Guillain-Barré syndrome, or Guillain-Barré syndrome, we would say in English. And so he was brought to the hospital. It was getting progressively worse. And the sisters in Brazil knew of this family, and his wife, Olivia, had contacted one of the sisters and said, "Would you please pray for my husband?" Well, the sister naturally asked the community to pray, but she did even more than that. She went to the hospital and she brought with her a prayer card with the novena prayer to Mother Clelia. And she also brought with her a relic. The relic was a small piece of material taken from the veil of Clelia when her body was first exhumed in the Campo Verano cemetery after the Second World War. So she took and placed a little piece of that cloth, actually a thread as it was related to me, in a little bit of water, a tablespoon, if you will, and put it to his lips, and he was able to swallow. Now, the doctors had given him about 24 hours max to live. They were preparing the family for the fact that he was going to die. Instead, he was able to swallow that water with that piece of that thread from her veil, and in a matter of hours, and then the following morning, he was completely recovered. He continued to recover very well, and he only passed away, I believe, in 1976 of a heart attack. So he lived for decades after this miracle occurred. So that is the miracle attributed to her for her beatification.
Thank you.
That's amazing. I love that. And one more miracle, and then she would be confirmed a saint. And I also want to say that today is also her feast day. So this is a perfect day to be airing this film. So Sister Colleen, our viewers here at Catholic TV, they're going to have multiple chances to watch 100 Hearts. Today we have a showing at 1 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Eastern, tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern, and then Thanksgiving evening at 8 Eastern. But we're also going to be showing a short documentary after the film about Blessed Clelia. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So it's a very well done documentary. It's about 13 minutes long. And it's our sisters who tell her biography, who tell her life story. And then towards the end of the film, it talks about the charism of the apostles of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and how Clelia's charism continues to be alive in our ministries today. And then it ends with the story of a grace received, another healing received by a family in St. Louis, Missouri. And they tell the story of a grace that they received for their son. So it's really very well done. It's a beautiful documentary.
Well, Sister Colleen, Sister Mariette, we thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, to get us excited about tonight's 8 o'clock premiere. And
5 p.m.
I'm sorry, 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
Thank you. And we hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, by the way, too. That's coming up.
Thank you.
You and you too. God bless, and happy Feast of Clelia today.
Thank
God
you.
bless you with
And
100 hearts.
Thank you. You too, sisters. Thank you so much. God bless.